Welcome to Performance Anxiety. This week's guest is singer, songwriter, and all-around creative person, Raquel Bell. We talk about how she got started in music, her eclectic new album, Swandala, and a whole lot of other things, because this conversation went to a lot of different places. She really kept me on my toes this week. And don't forget to give us a good rating and review on iTunes, Stitcher, Blueberry, or any other podcast platform that you listen to. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at PerformanceANX for both platforms. And check us out on Facebook. Please enjoy this week's Performance Anxiety with Raquel Bell.
This is Raquel Bell talking about my record Swandala that came out this summer here on Performance Anxiety with Mark Shea. Hope you enjoy it. Radical. I just finished a podcast myself, so I know what you mean.
Oh, really? Oh, cool. Your own? Or some you were being?
Well, no, I got a grant to create a podcast.
How do you do that?
Well,
you got to tell me because I got to get some money from this thing.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was like an idea to incorporate a bunch of musicians and artists in something and pay them.
Oh, nice.
It wasn't actually my idea. I kind of got roped into it from a friend, and he got me to do the grant process, and then I got it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so I had to create content, but
oh, wow.
Yeah, it was trickier though because it was a lot of live. I mean, it was live recorded, but then I was creating some crazy. It's a long story.
Well, we can.
Anyway,
we can revisit that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so can you see me?
No, I can't. You can feel free to put the video on because that actually makes it a little easier for me, so we don't talk over each other.
Better. Okay, hold on. I'm not a Skype user, so I see if I.
There you go.
If I show, hey. Okay. Yeah. So you can kind of see me.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people don't like the video.
I don't care. It just gets distracting because I wonder if I can hide myself.
I don't know. I've never tried that.
I know. I was just gonna sit here and then draw a picture. And then I realized, like, wait a second, can you see me?
Well, and so sometimes I'll ask, it's like, hey, how's it come through? Oh, I can't see it. Oh, that's okay. You don't need to see me. Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's probably it's probably better for you to see me, but probably better for me not for you to see me.
No, it is better.
It's fine. I just have to get comfortable.
Yeah. Do what you got to do. So let's start way at the beginning, I guess. You were born in Humboldt County, California.
That's right.
All right. So I'm doing some research.
Yeah, that's good. Nope. So either people know exactly what you're talking about when you say that, or they have no idea what you're talking about, and it's a mystery.
Where is Humboldt County? For those of us, I'm not going to say which one I am. For those of us who don't know.
I know what you are. I know which one you are. Where is Humboldt County? It is the very top of California. It is the second to last county before, trying to get a good situation here. There. It is the final to last county before you get to Oregon, which is the state under Washington, which is under Canada. Some people don't understand the order when it gets to the Pacific Northwest. So that's Humboldt County, people from Humboldt County refer to it as Humboldt County versus like, I come from this town, because it's very rural.
Okay.
So you go to school maybe in one town, but you live in another.
Okay.
And we lived on a dirt road in the woods. So there was no town.
Oh, wow.
That's why people say I'm from Humboldt County, because the county is more the home, particular city.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I grew up between Virginia and New Jersey. And
hey.
Yeah, and when I was in New Jersey, the town I lived in, we didn't have a high school. So they had to bus us out like two towns. It's funny. Our bus went right past one high school to go to a whole other town beyond it to go to high school.
Okay.
So I don't. Yeah. So I kind of know what you're talking about having to go to different places for school and.
Yeah.
So.
And where are you now?
Right now I'm back in Virginia. I live about 90 miles west of D.C. in Winchester.
Okay, you're back east.
Yep, home of Patsy Cline.
Home of Patsy Cline.
Yeah.
She was pretty sharp.
Yeah, she was awesome.
She had some hits.
She had a couple, yeah.
I have a hypothesis about Patsy Cline.
I would love to hear it.
I don't know if this is PC to say on your show or not, but I think she was black.
Really?
I saw some old pictures of her, African American. Maybe, just partly. But, I think that she hid it because back then people were so racist.
I've never heard that hypothesis before.
I never have heard it either, but I saw some pictures and I was like, that woman is not all white. For sure.
You know what? Yeah, you could be right. I mean, she had a hell of a voice.
A hell of a voice. She had a B voice.
Oh, man. She was fantastic. Unfortunately, died way too young. Oh, gosh. Don't ever get on a plane then. Just drive to all your shows.
Wamba ruined my life.
Oh, gosh. I love that movie.
Plane crash.
I know.
And Waylon Jennings was supposed to get on that plane.
Yep. Okay. So I'll tell you a neat story. A guy I know is head of a PR firm.
Okay.
And he's this guy's amazing. His name is Rick, and he's one of the coolest guys I've ever met.
Okay.
He's the head of a PR firm out of North Carolina. He's a part owner of a minor league baseball team in Daytona Beach, Florida. And he's on a board of trustees for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Okay. And right now he's working on doing a movie about Buddy Holly and that whole night.
Yeah. Okay.
So
that's dark.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to try to have him on this show to talk about the movie and I mean, he's not going to give anything away. He's a pretty tight-lipped guy when it comes to
I know what happens.
Don't tell me the ending. Don't tell me the ending. No. All right. So you're born in Humboldt County. Were you? Was your family musical?
Yeah. I mean, my dad was the child of Russian Jewish immigrants.
Okay.
In Canada.
Okay.
I'm wearing my Canada shirt right now.
I see that.
It's one of my favorites. A lot of people have seen it. So my dad, his family was musical. His uncle was a violinist. A lot of music. My mom's family, they loved to sing. They were hillbillies from Arkansas.
Oh, yeah?
From Ozarks. Yeah, they all harmonized. Oh. And I was like, those freaks. I bet I could do that. So I would try to harmonize. And then it was like, oh, wow, there's really something to this. So, yeah, I started playing music when I was 3.
Just singing, or did you pick up an instrument?
No, I played violin.
Oh, okay. And yeah. So that's something you just picked up and taught yourself, or did you take lessons? Or?
No, my dad picked it out for me because his uncle was a violinist.
Oh.
It's like a different tradition. In Russia, it's like they teach their kids everything, like music. It's really important. They're all incredible.
Oh, that's okay. See,
different,
I can play a little guitar, but I would never attempt to teach my kids anything like that. So that's why I asked.
Lessons, and then I took piano lessons, and I loved it.
And how long were you recording out there? I know you eventually moved out to New York. How long?
Yeah, I left home. I went away to school. I went to school in New Mexico, in Santa Fe.
Okay.
To a college that's now closed.
Oh.
It was cool. It was a weird school. It was a Christian Brothers campus. There were monks.
Oh, wow.
And it was built on a World War II internment camp, Japanese internment.
Oh my.
And it was our cafeteria was in a morgue. We went to school in barracks.
Oh,
and it's surprise, the college closed.
Yeah.
But I studied there, and then I moved to New York for about 12 years.
What precipitated the move to New York?
Well, having come from California, I was more curious about the East Coast.
Okay. And that's all it was?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to, I thought it was fascinating that you could move there and not have to drive.
Well, you could have done that in L.A.
Not drive?
Yeah. You get on the highway and you get stuck. You don't go anywhere.
It's True. The traffic in LA, man. Don't move here.
Oh God, it's.
Whatever you do, don't come to LA.
Oh,
it's just so much traffic. We don't need any more cars on the road.
I got a couple of friends of mine to do another podcast with out in LA, and yeah, that's one thing they complain about constantly. So
yeah, people should probably stop moving to LA until Elon builds his tunnel.
Well, that's right. He's got to start. He's got to get out of trouble first, and then he can start.
Why is he in trouble today? What happened? I saw some headlines where he seems to have pissed everybody off.
Yeah, he
the whole world.
I heard one blurb about it, and all I know is that he made some comments about taking his company private before talking to, I guess, some shareholders about it, about final stock prices and all. And he told somebody what the final stock prices were going to be before any of that was discussed. And so it's...
Yep. He was he had loose lips.
Yeah. Yeah. We all know what those do. So...
Yeah, all right. Well, what do you think about Elon Musk? I know you watched the podcast.
No, actually I didn't. I actually have a day job, and most of my day job is either actually doing my work or doing prep for my show. So
okay,
I missed the Rogan show, so I know what happened, but I didn't get a chance to hear it or see it, unfortunately.
All right. Well, you have to do your podcast homework.
Exactly. Well, I'm trying to do.
You know what everyone's talking about.
I need to listen to everybody's podcast every single day.
Yeah, including mine, the one I just finished.
Well, which you can tell me about in about 2 seconds. Okay. So you were in New York.
Yeah.
And you were creating music and art in New York.
Yeah.
So were you releasing albums at that point?
I did a lot of different things over the 12 years I was there, but mostly experimenting. When I got there, I was a singer. I was going out on auditions, and I ended up performing with some really interesting people. You know who Harry Parch is?
No, it's not ringing a bell.
Okay. Harry Parch, for you and your listeners, is the grandfather of microtonal music in the U.S.
Okay, I'm familiar with that.
He built his own instruments and wrote his own musical system. So, we have 12 tones in our scale, and with it, his had over 40.
Oh, jeez.
In the same amount. So these microtones. So when I walked into that audition, they said, do you have perfect pitch? And I said, no, I'm afraid I don't. And they said, good, because you can't sing this music if you do.
Oh, wow.
Because you're singing on pitch. It's really tricky.
Oh,
so you have to train your ear, and, it's incredible. But the instruments were in Montclair, New Jersey, in an institute for him. So I was involved with some really interesting music when I first got to New York. I was super lucky to have those opportunities. And then I started working on my own music, which is something I didn't do. I didn't play in bands when I was young. I didn't really know about it because I grew up on a dirt road in the Redwoods. There just wasn't anything. We didn't have, like, on the East Coast, you have that Appalachian culture and the fiddles and the bluegrass and all that. We didn't have that. So anyway, I didn't really think about how to have a band or anything until one day it just hit me that was what I was supposed to do. So I started writing music and experimenting with electronics. And it just took me a long time because I started late. I think I was 26 before I started doing my own music and making bands.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was later in life. But then it was just, playing in bands. Lots of bands, lots of tours, lots of recording, lots of meeting people, a lot of going to shows. You got to do all that stuff.
Well, a lot of networking and meeting the right people and finding somebody to help you out along the way. Like,
nobody helps you out. No. Nobody helps you out. You got to be tough. You got to help yourself out, and you can't expect anything. Just keep working real hard. And also I think I'm a philosopher as well as an artist. So, like, have you ever heard of the term sellout?
Yes.
Well, it's real. It's a real thing in every industry. You don't want to be a I didn't want to be a sellout. I was from Humboldt County, and like, if we didn't like something that was going on, everyone participated. You know, it was like a real community.
Yeah.
People got together and protected the forests if they needed to. You know, there was this lady named Julia Butterfly who got really famous because she climbed a redwood tree and she was real sexy. And she just stayed up there for like years, and people would bring her food and whatever else they would do up there. Like, it was a big deal.
I think I've actually heard of that.
Yeah, she made headlines because she was foxy, you know, she was up in that tree. So like, that's the kind of like childhood I had was, you know, you're supposed to be an activist in some way, you know, not necessarily like her in a tree, but when I moved to New York, like I saw like most people wanted to be a sellout. I didn't really understand it at the time, but I knew I wanted to do something different. And I think that's kind of like the problem if you happen to be born on the earth as an artist, is that you have to do that. So
in New York, you were completely out of your element then.
Totally.
Oh,
yeah. But I loved it. I love being out of my element.
So you kind of thrive on that uncomfortable feeling in there that you had?
You know, I also surfed when I was a kid. You know, I was a surfer, and there were great white sharks in the water. You know, there's like the danger. It's important. You know, I think danger is an important aspect of being alive.
I know.
If your day is too safe, maybe you're not trying hard enough.
Okay, you know, that's a good point. That I know actually.
Running from predators keeps us physically fit.
Yeah, I mean, if you get that adrenaline, you're either going to live much longer or a lot shorter.
Or a lot shorter, exactly. But you're going to have fun.
Exactly. Either way.
Or scream a lot.
Yeah. Or do a podcast. So tell me about this podcast that you've been doing. And then we'll get back into your career.
Yeah. The podcast was forced upon me. Because I was like, I don't even like podcasts. No offense, Mark.
That's okay.
I've grown to like them.
Oh, good.
Through the process of having produced one myself. So the idea, the name of the podcast is This a Horse or an Ark?
I think
that's right. Process that.
I'm trying to think. Have I seen that? Have you?
No, it hasn't come out yet.
Okay. Then I saw something. I saw one. Is this a horse or something like that? But so it was. Okay, so it was a little similar in name. What is it about?
So back in Austin, I have a band called Ganj Island.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Got it?
I got it.
Okay, so I have a band named Ganj Island, and I play in that band with Lisa Cameron, who is all-time fave drummers, right? Used to drum with Rocky Erickson, like serious drummer.
That dude's
amazing.
Two of us have
totally amazing. So another Austin, superstar.
Oh yeah.
So Lisa and I had this duo, and the philosophy behind the music is that you build a bridge, you take the bridge to a chair, and if you can sit on the chair, you can get to Ganj Island, where you just reach out your hand and weed will fall in it.
Okay. It sounds like a magical place.
So this is a flexible philosophy, not always the case. But for the podcast, this was the case. And we hired a bunch of people to come to the studio, which was my house in Austin. And we recorded them looking for the truth, looking for answers. Okay. I don't want to give it away because it hasn't come out yet. But It's part of a larger podcast series that's coming out. Anyway, I don't know how much I should talk about it.
Okay. Let me ask you one or two vague questions about it, if that's okay.
Sure, yeah.
So are you interviewing people? Are they people that we would know?
Okay, some of them you would know are like well-known musicians or not, or obscure musicians, just artists. So they came in, they were shown pictures of animals, and they were asked to try and decipher what the animal was trying to say because they were trapped on this boat. Okay. And we needed to know if they were legit or if they had maybe ulterior motives.
All right. I'm really interested in this.
It's deep.
I gotta check this out when it comes out.
Yeah, I'll put a link on my website.
Yeah, please do. Is there a prospective release date?
I think it's going to be in the next couple weeks.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah,
So
brand new.
I'll still actually remember it by then.
You hopefully will remember it. And hopefully people will continue to check on my website because I'm always up to something. Usually no good.
All right. So you were in New York for 12 years. Almost 12 years. Making music, meeting people, meeting a bunch of sellouts, fending for yourself.
Yep.
And
fending for myself.
Creating all kinds of art. And then you moved to Austin.
Yeah. Well, no, I didn't actually. Turn off my phone over here. I didn't move to Austin. I moved to Golson.
Oh, okay.
Which was outside of Waco.
Oh, okay. Okay. So Golson. So what was the impetus for that?
It was so far away from New York.
And that you just wanted to get out?
I wanted to get out. It wasn't that I wanted to get out. I love New York. I wanted to see something different. Okay. And I wanted to get into a different scenario so that I could get inspired in new ways. I'd been in New York a long time, and you can see so much there, obviously. But after a while, it was kind of seeming to be the same. And I longed for something different. So I moved to the middle of nowhere. And it was a town of about 300 on the Brazos River.
Oh, I'd say that's middle of nowhere, yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you pick Golson over, going back to Humboldt County? If you wanted the middle of nowhere.
Well, I mean, it was a different culture. It was like going to France. It was like there were a lot of white supremacists. There were a lot of, honky tonks. It was honky tonk music. It was rural Texas is not like rural California, although there are a lot of similarities.
So you sold your apartment in New York, moved there, and created a whole new album. How long did it take you to start writing and creating the music that came on that came to be your new album, Swandala?
Like 50,000 years of writing. At least
quite some writing.
49,000 years.
All right, give or take 1,000.
Give or take 1,000. It was so much time because I write a lot of music, and it was difficult to choose what to put out, what to release. Yeah. I've been in a lot of bands, and that's easier because you have other people's opinions sculpting the result.
Makes sense.
You have a sound, but I don't have a sound. I compose music in all kinds of ways. I sing, I play different instruments, play all kinds of different music. So how to create something that was actually like a body of work took me a while to figure out how I could even do that at all.
Well, the sounds on the album are so wide ranging. It's amazing. I mean, you've got country, you've got rock, you've got funk, you've got a little soul, R&B. You hit everything, and it's very cohesive. So
how did that happen?
I don't. That's why I was going to ask you that.
I thought you could tell me.
Oh gosh, maybe
no. That is a mystery, but how it. So instead of focusing on how it was different, I made it more about the story of that period of my life. So in art or anything, in music, in art, anything I'm writing about, I always am looking for answers to something I don't know. I'm not trying to say, I know all this stuff, so you should know it too.
Right.
It's like, that would be interesting. This is more like, I have this idea, but I don't really understand it or know about it. I'm going to explore it in this medium, whether it's painting or a song. And also I do a lot of channeling. So I'll just kind of like get in a zone
Okay.
And this really helped when I moved out of New York, because I'm living in this trailer on a river that is so intense. The surroundings are so weird that like the insects are gigantic. Like the bugs are so big and so loud and terrifying, and the spiders are just like the size of cats.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like this other environment. Snakes everywhere, like big kill you snakes.
Yes.
Water moccasins everywhere, you know, rattlesnakes.
I know it. I lived in South Alabama for 8 years. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Snake land.
Yes.
So the environment was cool, and I could sit there in the trailer at night and just play. I turned the whole thing into my recording studio.
Oh, cool.
I was making demos, and I would sit in there, and if I stumbled on something interesting, I could really explore it. And I would be alone for hours and hours. And, you know, it's really different. In New York, you get a rehearsal studio. You go in there. You don't have a lot of time. Everybody's rushing around, and it's expensive. And it changes the music. So the reason the record is so good, in my opinion, is because I left in order to do it, basically. I went out there and made time to just patiently sculpt away at a bunch of different sounds and ideas. And fortunately, I have some really talented musician friends in Austin and beyond who made it incredible. I can't take credit for that. Like, people who played on this record are so talented.
So how did you pick the people to play on the record?
Well, while I was living out in Golson for a couple of years, I was scouting. So I was playing shows in Austin a lot, and I'd go down there, and if I was on the bill with somebody who was amazing, I would, you know, keep in touch. Or if I was traveling and I saw a band, if I saw somebody I liked, I just waited until I had all the players lined up.
Okay.
And then I studio and began working on it.
Now, you said you'd written a lot of stuff for this. I noticed in doing a little research that one of the songs you had released prior.
Uh-huh.
And let me make sure I get the right one. It was, Growing in Your Mouth.
Presence of these words, they make me weep. I've swept the sides even.
Growing in Your Mouth. Okay, so there is a song on Swandala, the latest album, called It's Growing in Your Mouth. I wrote that song twice.
Yeah, on purpose?
But they're two different songs, so they're not the same song.
Really? Okay.
If you go back and watch the video, which is on my website, for the first version, I'm sitting on a diving board over a swimming pool. That song is actually different, even though it has the same name.
Man.
And I had no control over that. You know, this song, I don't write the music. The music wants to, you know, come to life, and I just let it, you know, and it wanted to have the same name as that other song, so I said, okay,
hey, like,
what do I get to do?
Kind of like fraternal twins.
Fraternal, not identical.
Right, exactly.
Kind of creepy if you named your fraternal twins the same thing.
Yeah, well, like, you know, George Foreman or George Foreman, and and that other athlete who did that too. I can't remember who did it.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So, do you have any other questions about that song? It's a weird one.
It is.
We recorded that one. All right. So I think I alluded to this earlier. It's like, I like to experiment.
Right. I'm getting that. Yeah.
Okay. So I thought, you know, I wanted to try things with Swandala that I had never done on any other record for whatever reason.
Okay.
For instance, I wanted to bring in an orchestra. So I hired musicians that were super talented, and we had actual orchestrated sections of the music.
Oh, cool.
Which you can hear in the first and the last track. It just sounds absolutely, you know, stacked.
Yeah.
With instruments. So that was one thing I wanted to do. And then with It's Growing in Your Mouth, Jonathan Horn is the guitar player on the record. He's just an extraordinarily gifted musician and delightful human being.
Does he play throughout the whole album?
Yeah, he plays on almost every track, I think.
Yeah.
If not every track.
Because the guitar work in it is incredible.
He's a superstar. So Jonathan, the superstar, and my neighbor in Austin, just loved the man so much. He had never heard the song.
Okay.
And we're in the studio, and that was the idea, is that he wasn't going to get to hear it until we recorded it. He wasn't even going to get to hear it before we recorded it. I was just going to sing it, and he was going to play it.
Oh, wow.
And then we were going to capture that take, and that was it. And if we got it, we got it. If we didn't, we did it.
That's awesome. And it worked out. I mean, it's great. Now, I'll tell you, my favorites on the album.
Yeah, what are your favorites?
My favorites. A Solo to Mars.
Okay.
Who gets to name the name? Wizard Lyre and Vibration Carnation.
Wait a second. That's like most of the records.
I know. That's most of it. I got to ask you, is that on Swan? Is that a theremin that I hear?
Oh, yeah. Blair Boberg.
Oh.
One of the greatest theremin players to have ever walked the face of the earth.
That is it. You don't hear theremins anymore. I mean,
he's so badass, dude. He rides up on his motorcycle with his theremin.
What? Where did he put it? That's not a small thing.
He built a little thing for it. He's got on his like crazy leather jacket, and he's kind of intimidating. He used to play in this band. He was the front man of this notorious Austin band, and his whole suit jacket was made out of cutouts of porn. But, you know, get this scary motorcycle man on a theremin, and it's the most beautiful, sensitive music on the planet. And he can, like, harmonize melodies, improvised, just, it's kind of breathtaking to watch. I saw him play with Thor and Friends, and holy moly, I'm so glad he played on the record. I love that man.
Did you get a chance to try the theremin yourself?
I've tried it, sure, yeah. I'm a drummer at heart. I'm a singer, but I also I'm a dancer. I like to move.
Right.
So the problem with the theremin is very still.
It doesn't suit you exactly.
It would probably have. I would have benefited greatly from having been a theremin player, but I didn't.
What if you could get a strap and just hold the theremin while you're dancing and moving around? That would be some crazy art right there.
Yeah, I wonder if that's been done.
I'm going to say no.
We could Google it.
You should. And if you do it, I want some credit for it.
I'll let you know.
All right. So the album's out now.
Yeah.
And now you're in LA?
Yeah.
You alluded to that. So you had enough of Golson. And did you go straight from Golson to LA?
I loved Golson. I didn't have enough, but I had to leave because listen. I wish I was. I want to be a country singer, but I'm too weird. One of my good friends is named Kayla Ray. You should have her on your podcast. You probably won't understand anything she says because she's so country.
Well, I'll let you introduce us, and we can do that. Yeah,
she's amazing. So we really loved each other as fellow, artist, philosopher, musicians. She's a country singer, and so she would put me on a gig with her, like a honky tonk.
Oh man!
And people are just like, who is this alien, and and those silver pants are way too tight for this stage. The pink guitar, the whole thing, it was just like, I tried so hard, but people could tell that I was an outsider.
Oh man.
So I knew I couldn't make it work, even though I thought it would have been great. I'll just live out here and play music and whatever. I decided I had to join the scene again. I left the scene I had to join a scene. So I moved to Austin.
So you're doing a lot of... Okay, so you moved from Golson to Austin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which was a few hours away.
All right. And how long were you in Austin for?
About a year and a half.
Okay. And was that still part of creating Swandala, or was that after?
Yeah. No, I moved down there. I lived in Dylan Cameron's bedroom. Dylan Cameron is an incredible musician, electronic musician who happened to be Lisa Cameron, the drummer of Ganj Island, and many other bands' son. So I lived in Lisa's son's old bedroom, and I rented that room, and it was far out because I felt like I was Lisa's child.
Was it still decked out and all his stuff?
His stuff was long gone by then, but I was in the back room of the house, and we were rehearsing back there too, rehearsing for the record. Lisa played bass on the record. Okay. Lisa's a drummer. Okay, here's another thing. I thought it would be funny if Lisa played bass. Okay. Because she's a drummer? She's not just a drummer. She's like the drummer. She's one of the greatest drummers. So what if she played bass? What would that be like? And so I got a different drummer to play, Adam Jones, and Lisa played bass. So we were rehearsing in her house, and it sounded great in that room. So yeah, we were working on the record. This is a very eccentric album. And it gets more so as I learn more about the creation of it. Yeah, it was expensive too. Really? Yeah. Man. I mean, eccentric can be expensive. I have a lot of ideas, and I had a lot of ideas. And this was something I just didn't know what I could do if, I wasn't being told no. So that this is what happens then. This is what happens. Now let me ask you about the name, Swandala. Where did that come from? Okay, well, great question. Thank you. Yeah. I love that orange shirt you're wearing, by the way. Why, thank you. If I'd known that I was going to be visible to you while we were talking, I wouldn't have done anything different. Okay. Well, I like the Canada shirt. I'll put on my orange hat for you. Oh, man. All right. Now we match. Kind of. Okay. Now we match. So that is the best shot right there. Thank you. I've got my headphones on and my orange hat. Okay. I look like I look like Snow White's eighth dwarf. You look like... You're not supposed to say dwarf, I don't think, but the movie still is called Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Yeah, it's not Snow White and the Seven Little People. Not yet. Not yet, but... It doesn't quite roll off the tongue either. We'll see. He's going to be like, oh. Yeah. Okay. So, where were we? Oh, the name. The name. It was going to be called A Solo to Mars. Okay. Remember that song that you like? It's kind of disco? I love that song. You do? I do. It's the tempo change and everything. It's just, I absolutely love it. I think it's my favorite on the album. Oh, fuck yeah. Okay, so that's good news to me because that was going to be the title track. Oh, cool. I love that track, but I felt like it really got away from me when we were recording it, and it turned into a song that was just so insane. I just was like, I can't call the album this anymore, even though I love the song. Yeah. Okay. So I love it. It's just like, I love that song. It didn't represent the whole album anymore. Okay, that makes sense. In fact, I would say that that's kind of like the most frenzy of all the songs. Yeah, because it does have it starts off really R&B kind of sounding almost, and then it just goes into that quick tempo change, and it goes into a much more driving. Yeah, it's kind of like disco acid. Yeah. Actually, I love that. That's exactly what it sounds like. And that's what I should call my music from now on. Disco acid. I like that. That almost works with Wizard Liar too, which has almost like that has almost like a desert rock psychedelic feel. I love that song. I just love it. I love that song. That's my second favorite. Okay, good. All right. So, yeah, I wasn't going to call the record Wizard Liar, although my new band does have a song called Lizard.
Lizard Wire?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Okay, so fast forward. The record now is nameless. The record is orphaned. And what to call it? Well, what happened after I recorded the record is I sat on it for a long time because I wanted to make all these music videos for it.
Okay.
So then I bought this garage in Austin and we turned it into a studio. And we started filming in there, this wild stuff. We started a production company called No Promises. And
good name.
Yeah, I started, well, it wasn't my idea. Megan McAtee is a welder, an artist in Austin, and it was her idea. She was going to start a welding company called No Promises. and our friend Donna Delore, who is a famous director, she decided it should be the name of our film company. And so, fine, great.
Yeah.
I will generously offer up my songs from Swandala to be, our first projects. So we started working on all these videos and learning how we work together. And basically what we do is terrify as many people as possible. And if people can hang in there, they get to be part of the filming. And it's pretty fun. It was pretty fun. We had a meeting one day and this camera guy, cinematographer, came to the meeting. And he was the only one. And I was like, well, maybe we give him a few more minutes to arrive. And a half hour went by. And he's like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? Are you having a meeting or not? And I was like, well, sometimes this is how our meetings go. And he just left. He was so angry. He never came to the shoot.
Oh.
So that's the idea of No Promises. It's if you got an idea and you want it to happen, your idea will be incorporated. But you have to really, you have to be self-motivated. But what happened was we shot some of the coolest videos imaginable.
Well,
just crazy shit went down.
That explains some of the videos that I saw then.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, how did the name come about for Swandala? How did you choose that?
When you're all just hanging out and talking about the shoot or whatever. I don't know if you just hanging out with your friends and then something becomes something.
Yeah.
The shoot became Swandala. We started referring to it as Swandala because we were going to make a video for the song Swan. Mm-hmm. And we were going to do we were going to invite a bunch of people over and have them sign waivers. An acid light show came and turned my garage into a giant light show. And then some art directors came over and built some sets. And pretty soon we have this circus.
Jeez.
Neighbors are coming over. It was wild. And so it became a human mandala inside of all these people who came over to this party, and we were filming. And so it became Swandala.
Okay. That makes a little more sense now. All right.
Yeah. And it for me, it tied it all in. So the record was my experience in New York, absorbing music, contemporary music, and filtering it through my Texas trailer lens, and then having to leave the beauty, pastoral beauty of the Brazos River and all the beauty there. That's the song Swan. It was about how much I loved it there, how beautiful it was. And then moving to Austin to kind of try again in a new way. Like I said, if you want to be an artist, no one's going to be like, here you go, you're an artist.
Yeah.
Keep doing it. So I was like, all right, I'm going to join the living again. And it'll be fun this time because I'm not when I moved to New York, I was 23.
Oh, wow.
So I was really brave. I just tried everything.
Yeah, moving across the country at that age by yourself, yeah.
Yeah, Yeah, it was really brave. And so going to Austin, I was like, yeah, I'm going to have fun this time, and it's going to be great. And it was.
And so now you're back in LA.
Yeah.
And the album Swandala is out. And are you touring? Are you putting a touring band together? Or are you going to be doing some solo shows? Or how are you going to support the album?
I have performed some of the songs live, and they just sound exceptional. I think I would like to perform them with the musicians who recorded it. And in order to do that, I'll need some budget, because I had violin, theremin, vibraphones, percussion, clarinet, hand drum. I mean, in order to get like the full experience, I'd want the whole shebang. On the other hand, I could do it, just me and some other musicians, which I have, and it sounds phenomenal. But right now, I'm playing in a new band called Galextasy, and the music is so good that if I do go out on the road, which I will, of course, it will most likely be with Galextasy or solo as Raquel Bell, until I can, really put that band back together.
You can use some of that sweet podcasting money.
Yeah, man. Hand it over. share it.
Whatever I've got in my podcast budget, half of it's yours.
Yeah. I mean, you can't really feel sorry for yourself, though. That's the other side of not selling out. It's like, if you didn't sell out, you have to live with it. And that's okay, because most people on this planet don't have any money. It's like, yeah,
it's true.
Most people are struggling. Texas is interesting because, not to get too crazy political, but they don't really take care of their own. Like when I lived in New York City, there was at least there was a real effort to take care of the less privileged in New York. There was a lot of social structure for that, a lot of housing and outreach. People in New York might be like, what are you talking about? But I'm telling you, compared to Texas, it's a good situation. In Texas, they just tried to get rid of the health insurance for the poor. And it's a really bad health insurance, because I had it, and they tried to get rid of it. Yeah. That's the kind of place it is. So you actually really see what's going on in terms of poverty in the country. So, it's important not to get too caught up with money, I think, and just make it work. Like, I was recently on a podcast with Mike Watt. You know him?
Oh, God, yeah.
So Mike Watt's one of the coolest people on the planet, and his philosophy is jam econo. Figure out how to do it cheap. Right. Live the musician's life. Live on a dime. Make sure you pay attention to what matters and not what doesn't matter. So as somebody who has pretty much tried to do that in order to continue to keep making art, I'm like, to see somebody as old as him and as cool and badass and amazing, it's like, yeah. That's right. That's Jam Econo. Jam Econo.
Jam Econo. All right. That's your philosophy. That's apparently most podcasters' philosophy too, apparently. It's mine, and I didn't even know it.
I don't know. You look pretty spiffy in that polo.
Well, this is kind of old. It's orange.
I like it. I'm all about it.
Well, how can people help to support you in your Jam Econo philosophy? Where can they find your music and purchase your music?
Yeah. Go online. It's so easy to support me. And also, like, go buy a record, like, once a week. They're so cheap online, But instead of just streaming, like, it just takes... Everybody knows how much energy it takes to, like, live a day, right? You come home from your job and you're tired. Can you go ahead and, like, make an amazing record after you're that exhausted? Like, no, you have to have energy to make good music. So you got to have some food on the table. So go to my website. It is raquelbell.com. And there's links all over there to buy all sorts of music, not just Swandala. But Swandala's for sale. It's only $5.55.
That's amazing.
So that's Econo, and it's worth way more. But I really wanted people to have it because I thought it was, a good record.
I love it. I've been listening to it for a couple days now since I got it. it's fantastic. The like I said, my favorite songs are Solo to Mars and Wizard Liar. But But I'll tell you what, who gets to name the name, or who gets
to name the name?
That is a cool country sounding track.
Bracket, left whacked and hanging. Let's go down straight lane.
That's the great thing about the record, is that it just goes from genre to genre. You even make up a couple of your own, I think, because it's
disco acid.
Yeah, disco acid. It's really listening to it is really an experience, because you go through so many different places in it, and it's one of my favorites right now. I'm really enjoying it. So thank you.
I'm so glad you like it.
Oh, well, thank you for making it, because I'm loving it.
Touches my heart.
Oh, good. I'm glad I could do that. That doesn't happen very often. Usually I contact people and, great, thanks. Are we done yet? But I've taken up almost an hour of your night. Now I'm going to let you go. But
that time flew by.
See, that's the great thing about this show. It definitely flies by. It's I enjoy doing the show. I hope the people I have on enjoy doing it. What is the best way for people to...
What's the best way to... I mean, I'm on everything. Spotify, iTunes, RaquelBell.com is the best way, because I have a mailing list. Getting on my mailing list is the best way, because I'll have shows or... Well, I don't always do that, but I don't know. What do people on Facebook?
Yeah,
Instagram?
Are you on Instagram or Twitter or anything like that?
I don't really tweet.
Probably best.
I should, but it's probably best. It would be disgusting. I would just say go to the website. From there, you can go on Instagram, Facebook, Bandcamp, iTunes, Amazon. I try to be, prolific in my web presence, even though I don't tweet.
So all your information is on the website, and there'll be direct links from there.
Yeah, www.raquelbell.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Raquel. This has been a blast. Thank you. I appreciate your time, and I promise I will let you have your night now.
All right. Have a beautiful Virginia night.
Thank you. Enjoy LA.
I will. Traffic's actually not that bad.
Oh, well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, it's a secret, so people don't move here.
Oh, all right. Well, I won't say anything. This show will be my swan dollar. It'll take me 10 years to get it just right.
Well, it will be just right when you're done.
It will.